Live. Glad to take you to onboarding, I'm sorry, outbound messaging today. It's so important to be proactive and be the first one in. You know, the ones who do the most and do it first end up winning the most on LinkedIn. It is a valuable platform that rewards proactive, value added content and value added outreach. Now, most people on LinkedIn wait for something to happen. The smart ones on LinkedIn make something happen. What do I usually do to generate outbound leads? Well, I typically use inbound responses. How does that work? Well, if you look at who looked at your profile, that's an excellent opportunity to reach back to them and share that, you know, you have a lot in common or you appreciate them checking you out. Something that's a little bit more consistent is being able to do polls. Polls on LinkedIn are incredibly valuable because it gives you an opportunity to ask questions that are relevant to you and hopefully to the people who respond to the poll. Based on a response to the poll, it gives you permission to reach back and thank them for participating in the poll and to inquire if they're interested in learning more and having a Zoom call. My polls usually generate between 50 and 100 responses a day. They're typically involved with specific questions. One thing about polls, if you want a lot of response, add in a general question. If you say, you know, what's your favorite ice cream? You're going to get a lot of response. The challenge is, what are you going to respond to the response with? So instead of saying that, what I typically say, are you interested in learning about something? Have you experience in something? And that something is typically what I'm promoting at this point. At this point, it's a collaboration group that's incredible. I actually have my website that also promotes a game plan that I put in place. So I'm constantly learning, turning that learning into sharing, and turning that sharing into success. You know, what I typically like to do is share what's working with what my activities and strategy are in real time. So what I'm learning this week, I'm sharing today. So it's a way to stay relevant. It's a way to stay current, but more importantly, it's a way to mastermind and collaborate. So with that, moving back to outbound, once I do the poll and I send out the request, and it's only to, I'd say 10 to 15% of the respondents, because the rest just don't fit my client profile that I'm looking for at this point, and I don't want to waste anybody's time, including my own. So I like to get right to the point and share what it is, so there's no mystery. You don't have to wait 3 weeks to figure out what you could have learned right up front. And polling gives me that opportunity. It's one of the few things where you get to create a conversation within a post instead of waiting for the post and getting a comment and then responding to the comment. And at that point, the person's probably not there. So now they have to wait to pick it up, send it back. It's a little more time consuming, and it's not as focused. I think when someone takes a poll, they took some time out of their busy day to really support what you're doing, involve themselves in participating in the poll. Some people want to know what the answer is, and you know, that's a good reason to do a poll, to really get a gauge of what the population out there is thinking. But, you know, the more you do, the faster you do it, and the better you do it, will give you a competitive advantage over everybody who doesn't do it very fast, doesn't do it very well, and doesn't do it very often. So you win the day by creating quality content, but without the proper distribution and the targeting, you come up short, and you don't even know it, because you know what you did, but you never know what you could have done. With this strategy, you're always pushing forward. You're choosing. You're deciding who you want to work with, not someone who decides that I can pay you or I want to work with you. And it seems like a one-way street that typically lends itself to having bad client selection, and which lends itself to negative experiences possibly down the road. So, what you need to really do is set a goal. If you're looking for 3 clients a month, well, how many phone calls does it usually take to get a client to convert? If you need 10 calls to get 1 client, then you need 30 calls during that month. To get 30 calls, how much outreach and outbound do you have to do? Well, if you're converting at 20%, you're going to have to do 150 messages. Seems like a lot. But if you broke it down by the day, it's 5. In most cases, the response to the people who respond to you is typically, here's a Calendly link. Here's a link to whatever it is I'm talking about. And so you're a little bit better prepared. What I learned, especially on LinkedIn, is nobody likes surprises, good or bad. And everybody remembers who knew what when. So, why not be transparent? Where's the lack of confidence? Where's the benefit to showing that maybe there's a question of integrity? You don't want to do any of that, because LinkedIn is based on trust, getting to know you, getting to like you. The good thing about, the more you do in relationship to the people who do less, you stand out. One of the whole objectives of being on LinkedIn today with 810 million people is to distinguish and differentiate yourself from the crowd. How do you do that? Do what other people aren't doing, show up where other people aren't showing up. Right now, I started a newsletter 2 weeks ago. I have 8,000 subscribers. Boom, like that. Started 3 days ago. I went from 4 LinkedIn Lives a week to 11 LinkedIn Lives. Just like that, LinkedIn does not limit your opportunity. They don't tell you, oh, you hit 3 this today, can't do anymore. There's so few people doing anything, they reward participation. One thing LinkedIn does do is support and promote what LinkedIn does want you to do. And you can tell based on how much visibility you're given. LinkedIn typically, and that's why I've heard, only shows your post to 5% of your audience. Might be the best 5%, but until there's activity, it doesn't expand beyond that. And that's one reason to be in a collaborative group, to be able to support each other in a honorable way, not like an engagement pod where everybody says yes at the same time. That's all fluff, and it goes away once you stop doing it. If you're looking for real results with real people and doing it your way, like Burger King, have it your way. So, take some of this information, ask yourself, who are you talking to these days, and how are those conversations getting started? Are you being proactive, or are you being reactive? Are you responding to what people want you to do, or are you creating for other people to do what they should do for themselves first, and then for you, so you can keep helping them continue to help themselves? It's a reciprocal opportunity, which means someone's got to start the ball rolling by being proactive, by using outbound, by leveraging polls, by really being aware of responses, to who looked at your profile, who commented on what you shared, who tagged you. I mean, all these things are efforts and activities that other people have chosen to take the time and effort to do for you. Are you grateful? Are you appreciative? What if this person was the most important person in the world on LinkedIn to you? What would you do? There's a saying, to become, act as if you are, right? If you want to lose weight, do what people who lose weight do. If you want to be a runner, learn what runners do. the more you do of it, the more you'll become and the more benefit you'll achieve. So, I hope this is beneficial, some of these insights. I'm sharing on the ground reports. I've been posting every day for 3 years. I keep adding to it, but I've been doing it, which is remarkable, with a real respect for time. So although I'm doing more, I'm not spending more time doing it. A lot of times I'm multi-purposing. I'm learning how to use LinkedIn's capabilities better. I just started, like I say, the newsletter just really expanded significantly on LinkedIn Live, because I think this is the absolute best platform, because today people are so isolated. They're living in a vacuum. There is hardly any real time interaction online. It's usually do it, someone gets it, responds to it. This is today, this is now, this is us. And I think it's stimulating in order to see real people. And it's what's even more rewarding for me is to get responses. So feel free to reach out to me, comment on this video, share this video. If you really want to hit the fast lane, check out my website, doncohenconsulting.com. I've got this new LinkedIn game plan that is just for 4 weeks. You'll go from 0 to 60 in 3 seconds with proven strategies that you can feel the results the day you do them. Anyways, thank you so much for your time. Look forward to talking tomorrow. Tomorrow I have a link tank at 2 p.m. Eastern with Mike Weiss. I do those Tuesdays and Fridays. Mike's an incredible teacher and just one of the top people on LinkedIn, a real visionary, somebody you should get to know. So anyways, have a wonderful day, and we'll